All right, what's up, everybody? We're here. We are live. Was running a little bit late, but we got a good game on our hands so far. Starting out, as we have both teams have kicked a field goal so far to start. We got Michael here with us. The battle of schools played no one versus a school lost to an FCS team no one has heard of. That's right. As Liberty comes in 4-0 on the year, 2-0 in Conference USA. FIU comes in at 2-3 overall, 1-0. FIU lost to Indiana week 1, 31-7. Beat Central Michigan 52-16. Lost to the FAU 38-20. Monmouth beat them 45-42, and then they beat Louisiana Tech 17-10. Look at Liberty, they beat Campbell 41-24, won at New Mexico State 30-24, beat UTEP 28-10, and beat East Carolina 35-24. They were supposed to play at App State, but the Hurricane canceled that game. So here they are after 2 weeks off. As the App State game was canceled, then they had a bye week. Now they play FIU. As Salter on the first down run, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage, bring up a second down and 10. So we got Michael here. I think he's here with us now. How you doing, man?
Good as of right now.
Good to hear. So I know you've been able to keep up with the game a little bit more than I have until now. What's been your thoughts so far on this game?
So far, first couple drives, there's no offense at all. Both teams scored on their second drives each on chip shot field goals, I guess you could call it, but field goal's never really a chip shot field goal. But the main thing that stands out to me so far is that FIU is still hanging around with Liberty to this point, which to me is a little bit surprising based off how they have played so far this year.
Oh, without a doubt, 100%. And I mean, Liberty, honestly, just the way they've played in general this year has kind of been surprising. They haven't really played like they did last year. As there's a nice pass complete to Smith, and he's going to get it past midfield to about the 48. There is a flag back at the 35, but they just haven't played like they did last year. I mean, they're still 4-0. Jamie Chadwell, just one loss as the Liberty head coach, came to Oregon in the bowl game last year. But it's like it's just I don't know what's up with them. As going to be pass interference, as Smith looked to be a little shook up on that play. Pass interference, that's going to back Liberty up after a big game.
I will say, to this point, I think for the playoff-wise, for the group of five, it's really down to 4 teams with Army, Navy, Boise State, and Liberty, I would say.
I would say so. I think UNLV still has a bit of a chance. Despite losing to Syracuse in overtime, I think they still have a bit of a chance, but it's not. I would agree with you. I think it's down to those 4 teams. Obviously, UNLV could beat Boise State, and that would change it a lot. And then Army and Navy play each other, so that would change a lot. As Salter is going to be sacked back at his own 7 on 3rd and 21, and FIU forces a punt. The defenses seem to have come to play today. The offense is not so much.
Yep. As of yet.
Yeah, I would expect them to heat up pretty soon.
Now, this is the same quarterback for Liberty they had last year, right?
Yep. Caden Salter. Yep, he was their quarterback last year. And their running back is the same guy from last year as well. I believe his name's Quinshon Cooley.
That's running back.
Yeah, I think he's the same. I think he's back too.
Yeah, he is. You see what happened to Salah and the Jets and all that?
I did. It's pretty bad. Also, Robert Saleh with the worst record in Jets history of teams. I'm trying to remember the stat. He's the worst. He had the worst winning percentages the Jets head coach with a minimum of 40 games, I think it was, all time.
Yeah, I would take Boise State 11-1 over Liberty pretty easy.
Yeah. Boise State's 11-1. I'm taking them over Liberty 12-0 easily. And again, I mean, Liberty plays in Conference USA. They didn't really schedule very many people outside of, and they're out of conference. East Carolina and App State were probably the best two. They beat East Carolina, and East Carolina's been worse than people thought they would be in App State. App State has two, and they didn't even play that game. It was canceled. So, not a whole lot from Liberty in terms of strength of schedule. So I think if you get a team who is 11-1, even a team who's 10-2, if Boise State were to somehow lose 2 games, I would still take them and put them in the playoff over a 12-0 Liberty.
I mean, you also have to look at it from the way of Liberty pretty much has half their offense or more back from last year, and look how they fared against Oregon.
Yeah,
granted, that was a different Oregon team, but still.
Exactly. Now, I think Liberty would be more competitive this year. Just when you look around the team, every team in the country is beatable, and it's been shown. Every team's beatable. Obviously, some teams haven't been beaten yet, but every team is capable of losing. So who knows? I mean, you got Texas, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Miami. Those are the main 5 undefeated teams. Miami should have 2 losses right now. Penn State's going to lose a game. Oregon barely beat Boise State. Ohio State, they're definitely beatable. I mean, they got to go on the road to Oregon. They have tough games. They could get a loss. Texas definitely could have a loss, especially if Ewers isn't back this Saturday. That could be real interesting.
Well, I will say the one thing is, in my opinion, as obviously I hope Ohio State doesn't lose, but if there was Ohio State to lose 1 game this year, I would prefer them to lose to Oregon rather than Penn State.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, because Oregon isn't really like a rival.
And we've beat Penn State 8 years in a row now, I think.
I think that's right. It's a lot of years in a row. Yeah, that's definitely not something you want to end.
Handoff up the middle for about 5, maybe 6.
Looks like the right tackle for FIU is down on the field now.
I'm assuming we're going to go to an ad break for that.
Nah, it looks like they're going to keep it on the field.
Well, I will say while we have a break there, I don't know if you saw it yet, but I brought my Ohio State channel back.
No, I didn't. I'll have to go look.
For the Oregon game, I released that 1 day ago.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to go. I'll check that out at halftime. And feel free if you want. Feel free if you want to throw the link in the chats. That way people can go see. That's the Army-Navy problem. If they both finish undefeated playing the American Championship, that game will decide who goes to the playoff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if they both play in the American Championship, then the Army-Navy game is, which I know they've already said they're not going to do it, but I wish if that was the case, they would just make the Army-Navy game the American Championship instead of playing it twice in back-to-back weeks. It's just stupid.
Tackled for a 2-yard loss, it'll be 3rd and 7. Tried to go off a fancy end around there.
Yeah, that one didn't work. Liberty snuffed it out all the way. Now you're in a difficult spot. You had good field position. You don't want to give it up. They're going to dump it underneath to the running back, and he has the first down up to the 43-yard line of the Liberty Flames. Just nobody picked him up. He just slipped right out of the backfield, was wide open. Nice, easy pass for the first down. Jenkins and Salter both struggling so far in this game. Jenkins for FIU, 3 of 7 for 39 yards. Salter, 2 for 4 for 49 yards. both of them struggling a little bit.
I will say one thing these teams don't get as much credit for, but they should, is their defense.
Yeah, especially FIU. You look at them, everybody thinks they're a bad team. Yeah, they gave up, 45 to Monmouth? But, they've got a solid defense. There's a nice pass on a comeback route, and that's going to have FIU in the red zone set up at the 16-yard line, as that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. So we're not going to take a break. Michael, you said you had some stuff for the first break. Let's hear it.
So I kind of already text you it, so you kind of get prepared of it. Just figured I didn't see you didn't respond, so I figured I'll ask it anyhow. Any reactions to Spencer Rattler and Drake May starting next week for the first time?
That's going to be interesting to watch. Now, I'm high on Spencer Rattler. I think he's got the talent. I think he's in a favorable situation with the Saints and getting to sit behind Derek Carr. Don't know how he's going to fare coming into this one, though, just because it's so early. I don't know. I don't know how he's going to do. Drake May, on the other hand, I think he's a solid quarterback, but in the situation he's in, and he's got to play against that Texans defense, it could be rough for him. Now, I think Rattler could have a solid game. I think it's going to be tough for May, though. I don't see him having a solid, easy time at all. Especially, like I said, he's playing Houston. They have a solid defense. They're generally pretty tough. I think Rattler will benefit, especially when you look at kind of comparing them. They played the Buccaneers. That should be a big game to get the running game going. But also, too, when you look at Rattler, he has the best weapon of the two of them, and one of the best weapons in the league out of the backfield, and Alvin Kamara to throw the football to. So I think that could really help Spencer Rattler. I think he could have a solid game, actually. Drake May, I find it hard to see him having much success. Jacoby Brissett, a guy who's been solid in the league for years, hasn't had success with that team. Maybe Drake May can come in and make something happen, but I'm not counting on it.
Yeah, and I will also add a little piece you left out there. Rattler also has one of the more underrated wide receivers in the league, been heating up the past few weeks, and Chris Olave, to where New England really doesn't have any standout wide receiver like Chris Olave that the Saints do.
No, not at all. And speaking of that, how about Rashid Shaheed for the Saints? You just let him run deep and throw it up and get there. So I think Rattler has a lot of weapons, whereas I don't think he has any. Drake May doesn't even have a good running back to lean on.
I will say, regarding to your comment in the chat about Ohio State beating Penn State in the whiteout game, that is not going to be the whiteout game. The whiteout game will be November 9th versus Washington.
Which is kind of dumb. I feel like they should make it their biggest home game every year.
Well, Big Noon Kickoff puts Ohio State and Penn State on Big Noon Kickoff every year now. So it takes all the energy out of it for me, in my opinion. Not all of
100%.
It, but
I think Big Noon Kickoff is the worst that's ever happened to college football. Forget about the NIL, the transfer portal. No, the worst thing that ever happened to college football is Big Noon Kickoff. I absolutely despise Big Noon Kickoff. Who says, yeah, let's take the biggest game that we have and let's put it at noon? Who does that? Especially when as there's a fumble into the end zone on the run play, and it looks like FIU recovered it for a touchdown. The running back was going to get there anyways, but he fumbled the ball about the 1.5 yard line, and FIU recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. So they will take the lead up 9-3, looking to kick the extra point, make it a 10-3 game. But yeah, who says let's take it, put it in the biggest game that we have? Let's put this game in, especially when a lot of the Big Ten teams in their time zone, it's actually 11 in the morning when the game kicks off. It's like, what are you doing?
Penn State and Ohio State, yes, it'd be noon. But if you also look at it, Michigan and Ohio State, yes, I can understand that on Big Noon Kickoff based off, the experiment that the year they played it at 3:30 p.m. and it was just way too crazy. I can understand that game being on Big Noon Kickoff, but because that game's already hyped up to no end every year, and the crowd's going to be loud and drunk for that game at 6 in the morning, no matter what team you play for.
You could play that game. You could play that game at 3 a.m. and you're going to get the same crowd watching it.
Exactly. But Penn State, Ohio State, that's a different story. I mean, when it got announced last year, it's been on Big Noon Kickoff every single year since 2018.
Yeah. And it just ruins the vibe. I mean, even as a Clemson fan, we're in the ACC. We don't get a lot of huge games every year. But when we play Stanford at 7 o'clock at night, it's so much more of a crazier, just more fun environment than if we're playing Virginia at noon. Like, yeah, NBC primetime is so much better than Big Noon Kickoff. I absolutely hate Big Noon Kickoff. I will never watch it. I never watch Big Noon Kickoff unless it's Ohio State, Michigan, just because I hate it so much. As Liberty with a big kick return up to their own 41, that's the way you want to start the drive, maybe spark the offense a little bit.
Yeah, I will say I'm actually surprised. I'm not surprised that obviously Oregon, Ohio State's on prime time. I think everybody probably figured it would be in prime time. That's not the question. I'm surprised that NBC got the game a little bit because they don't nearly have as big as a market as CBS. I thought the game would be on Fox in prime time or CBS, but it's on NBC, which kind of shocked me a little bit.
Well, that's because of right here what Anthony says. The deal has CBS, Fox, and NBC. They alternate weeks for the number one pick for the game. But, yeah, Fox will always get Michigan, Ohio State. So that's why NBC got Oregon, Ohio State.
Now, I will say the one benefit for Ohio State, I guess you could say, yes, it's 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, but the benefit is Ohio State will be playing at 4:30. So if you think about it, yes, that Oregon crowd is still going to be loud. It always is. It's the matter of does that tone the crowd down just a tad bit to help Ohio State a little bit, just for the fact that it's more a midday game and not a primetime game.
That's not how Saturdays work out west. The way Saturdays works out west is, all right, we all get up about 9 o'clock to watch game day. Out there, game day comes on at 6 a.m., so they all get up about 6 a.m. to watch game day and get there. I mean, at 9 a.m. in the morning, you have all the noon games on. So they're up. It's still going to be the same amount of time they've been up. They're going to be drinking. They're going to be up for the same amount of time they would be had it been 7:30 here on the East Coast. That's how they work out there on the West Coast. They get up the same time we do. It was earlier in the day for them, but they get up the same time we do to catch game day, to catch the game. So it's still going to be. Plus, I think this is another one of those games. Ohio State, what are they ranked second coming into town? Into town to play the number 3 team in the country.
Yep.
That's one of those games, again, you could play at 3 a.m. and that crowd's going to be the exact same as if it was 8 o'clock at night.
Well, it might end up being 3 a.m. if the game turns out how it's supposed to turn out.
Yeah, it definitely could. It could be a great game. Yeah, Oregon's biggest home game in years. It'll be nighttime by the end of it.
There is one important thing to note. Remember when Oregon beat Ohio State back in 2021 in the shoe?
Yeah.
That I know this might sound a little bit because it's been a couple years, but that Ohio State team's going to be out for blood. Because if you think about it, Henderson was on that team. Basically, that whole defense was on that team except for the transfer Caleb Downs.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask is
Ibuka.
how many of the players on this team were actually on that team? Because
Because I
that
know
is a big
Henderson was
part
a
of it is if
freshman
you
that
weren't
year.
there, you don't really care, you know?
Henderson was a freshman that year. He started in that game. The whole defense line was there. The whole linebacking core was there, except for C.J. Hicks and Averill Reese. The whole secondary core was there, except for Igbinosun and Caleb Downs. On the offensive side, Henderson was there. Ibuka was there. Donovan Jackson was there.
All right, so yeah, so y'all okay. That makes more sense because I know like sometimes you'll hear people say that, but then you go look at the rosters and there's like two people on the team that were on the team then. As Salter about got sacked, somehow gets away from the pressure, scrambles for the first down, but a hold is gonna push Liberty back, and they'll now have it 2nd and 14 at the FIU 37-yard line.
Also, I know this don't mean much, but Devin Brown was also on that team as a freshman too.
Yeah.
So
As Cooley will pick up 2 yards, make it 3rd and 12.
plus Day was the head coach. So
That's what I was about to say. It doesn't matter if they had beaten Oregon the last time. Ryan Day always has his team out for blood. That's one of the things I like about him the most is that he coaches his team, particularly his defense, to play with violence. And they just play hard and aggressive, and they will just rock the mess out of you.
I
That's
mean, did
something
you
I
see what
wish we would
Ryan
see
Day
more
said
out
today?
of Clemson. They like the hits you hear and see in an Ohio State game are not the same as a Clemson game, and that's what I took away the most from those 2 years where we played them was, all right, this team is a lot more physical and more violent than we are. As Salter on 3rd and 13 going to scramble up the middle, and he's going to have a first down.
I will say, I know a lot of people have been saying that Caleb Downs has not been active, the people that react to highlights and all that. But the thing they're missing is he's making tackles for loss. He's making tackles. He's making pass breakups. It's just the interceptions aren't coming yet, and he's playing the way that the stats that don't usually show up in the box score at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. And those are just people who just look at the box score, watch a little bit of the game, and don't really know a whole lot of what they're talking about. And those people somehow be all over the internet. It's a 6-yard run for Cooley up the middle, has it 2nd and 4 at the 15 now for Liberty. Looks like these offenses might start waking up a little bit. Is again to Cooley, and he's going to have a first down to the 11.
Now, I will say, I think this spoiler to obviously the podcast tomorrow when I release my video on this. I think the game will mainly come down to, number one, how does Ohio State's defense play? Especially that front seven in the second, mainly the secondary, but especially that defense line. And for Oregon, obviously Ohio State has the best running back duo in the country. I wouldn't even say it's that relatively close. Ohio State, they haven't had a ton of success running up in between the tackles. I mean, they were pushing Iowa around last week on the run game. They were able to move the ball. They just couldn't get it into the end zone. It's just that, Ohio State's wide receivers, they're always good at blocking. It seems like every year, even if their own line isn't, the wide receivers seem to be good at blocking. And as Ohio State preaches, you ain't getting the ball unless you block if you're a wide receiver, as Ryan Day says. But the thing is, Ohio State has had a lot of success with running that pitch option to Junkins and Henderson on the outside, and an occasional read option to Howard on the outside. Touchdown Liberty, by the way.
Yep, Quentin Cooley straight up the middle for a 4-yard touchdown.
In my opinion, it's going to come down to, can Oregon stop the perimeter run game? Because they're not they don't have a bad defense. They don't have a horrible defense. They have a good darn defense, but they have struggled at times guarding the perimeter run, outside run against teams that don't even have close to as good a caliber of running backs as Ohio State. So that's going to be the key to the game for Oregon. Can they stop that perimeter run? Because we've seen before, if you get Junkins on the perimeter and you let him get 10 plus yards down the field, he's basically gone.
Yeah, and I mean, you look when Oregon played Boise State, Ashton Jeanty had a huge game against them. And Boise State has nowhere near the passing threat that Ohio State brings in, and they still couldn't stop Jeanty. I think Oregon's going to have a tough time stopping that run game. And it might end up being something where it's kind of a pick your poison. They say we're going to sell out on the run game to stop you and make you throw the football.
RPO.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's going to be it's Oregon's going to get some stops, but it's going to be tough. None of them are going to be easy. Now it's how many stops can they get? Now I do think that this Oregon team is going to have success offensively. I mean, Dylan Gabriel, he just doesn't turn the ball over much. Very smart.
I mean, he did throw multiple picks in the last game, though.
Yeah, he did. He did, but generally he doesn't turn the ball over much. I think Oregon's really going to try to attack Ohio State with a lot of like underneath stuff, a lot of crossing routes, something similar to that. Well, I think they'll have some success with it, but I think it's going to be a tough, close game. I don't see either team blowing the other out.
At the most, I see a 10-point Ohio State win at the most.
Yeah, that's about what I said was 10 points either way is about as much as you're going to get.
There's this one EA 25 sim, and they had Ohio State winning 58-7.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen.
In my opinion, this Oregon-Ohio State game determines who's number one in the country. Because, yes, I understand, yes, Texas plays Oklahoma, and if they beat Oklahoma, they have 2 top 25 wins. But with Michigan losing to Washington, that's their second loss of the year now. That kind of stales that Michigan win even a little bit more. So you've got to be thinking that the winner of Ohio State-Oregon would be the number one team in the country.
I think if Oregon wins, Ohio State and Oregon should switch spots. I think if Ohio State wins on the road against the number 4 team, I think they should jump up to number 1. Oregon should fall to like 8, something like that. I don't think Oregon should jump from 4 to 1 though with a win.
They're number 3.
That's what I meant, from 3 to 1 with a win. And I guess if Penn State beat USC, slide them in front of Ohio State, have Ohio State at 4. I was thinking Oregon was 4, Penn State was in between them. So yeah, I think if Oregon wins, I'd put Oregon at 2, Penn State at 3, Ohio State 4. I think if Ohio State wins, I'd put Ohio State 1, bump Oregon down to like 7 or 8. But that doesn't have Bama in it, but that is not having Bama or Tennessee in front of them. I think Bama and Tennessee both should have been out of the top 10.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I will say this Oregon-Ohio State game, I'm actually pretty nervous for it, and I think most Ohio State and Oregon fans will have the same reaction as me, because whenever you're a top 5 team, top 10 team, and you're playing a game like this, you always get those butterflies in your stomach, no matter if you're a player, a fan, etc., because you know that you actually have a legitimate shot to lose. It's one of those games where you have that bulge in your stomach saying, okay, we actually have a legitimate chance that we lose this game.
For sure, but I think it's definitely a lot less stress this year with the 12-team playoff instead of a 4-team. A 4-team playoff, you lose this game, you might be out. Whereas the 12-team playoff, you can lose this game and honestly lose in the Big Ten championship and still get in. As that read option's going absolutely nowhere. Back up, 3rd down and 11 now for FIU at their own 20 and a half yard line, kind of in between. And looks like they're going to take a timeout.
Did you see LeBron gifted Ohio State cleats for the Oregon game?
I did. I saw that.
Because LeBron typically gives Ohio State something to try and get them riled up before big games.
Oh, everything here, Manuel. What's going on, man? Let us know. We're not super familiar with FIU. I've watched them a little bit this year, not a whole lot. Let us know. Let us know what we need to know about FIU. Let us know. Fill us in. What would you inform us on about Florida International? Let us know. I'm interested to see what you say. What you think.
While we're waiting on that, I will say one last thing about the Ohio State game here, quick. Obviously, we'll be talking about it more tomorrow. How do I word this? Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Did you hear about what Ryan Day said today before the Oregon game to the whole team after practice?
No.
It's circulating over YouTube. It's not a really popular video, but it's an Ohio State channel I follow. Obviously, they didn't mention Oregon in the videos in case Oregon saw it or anything like that. For now, because you know how social media is nowadays. Players watch stuff, and it's just. He basically said, "We're going to play violent, fast, angry, and let's go kick their you-know-what." Starts with an A.
Yeah.
I mean, and it wasn't a normal voice. I mean, he was screaming at them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's how you fire your team up. That's how you do it.
I mean, let alone from Emeka Ibuka saying after the Iowa game, as I already told you, he said, if we play like this again to start the game, we're going to get our, beat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Especially against a team like Oregon, they're going to have to start better than they did.
The one thing I am worried about is Will Howard turnovers in the Oregon game.
Yeah, I could see that. I definitely trust Dylan Gabriel to hold on to the football more than I trust Will Howard, because he's had some problems against some weaker teams as well with that in the past a little bit. So,
well, I will say one of those Will Howard's interceptions was not completely his fault.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, they haven't all been his fault, but some of them definitely have been.
I mean, he's thrown 3 interceptions in 3 straight games. I guess the good thing is he's limiting it to 1 a game. If you're going to throw an interception, I will say, if you throw an interception against Oregon, you better hope it's when the game's out of reach. I'll say that much. Let's say for some odd reason Ohio State's winning by 30 plus, and it's late third quarter, early mid fourth, and he throws a pick. Okay, that is a different story. But if he were to throw a pick, if in the first couple drives of the game could already be over.
Yeah. Without a doubt, it could be.
Now, obviously not saying because Ohio State has a great defense, but.
No, yeah, for sure, but it definitely could be some trouble. If you do that, yeah. I mean, I think you definitely want to go down the field and put some points on the board on your first drive.
At least 3. At least.
Yeah, even if it's just a field goal, just go get something. So is Liberty on the punt return? It was a good return. But
It's getting called
there's
back.
going to be a hold, and that's going to move them back. They'll start the drive at their own 36. So with that, we're going to take our first break. We'll be right back with you guys in just a moment.
Also, while we're on ad break, just a quick score update here. MLB related, not college football related. As right now, it looks like the Mets will take Game 3 and take a 2-1 series lead over the Phillies, as they are leading 2-7 in the top of the ninth.
All right, so we're back now. Liberty with the ball at their own 39-yard line, and now there's going to be a false start. That'll back them up to their own 34. As Liberty's ran the ball on 10 of their last 11 plays. Now, not all of those were designed runs. A few of them were scrambles. But a false start going to back them up here. Have it 1st and 15. Liberty just killing themselves with penalties right now. As, I mean, that's been the story of the game. That's honestly part of the reason why it's so close. I mean, 4 penalties for 40 yards for Liberty right now. And we're still halfway through the second quarter. As the handoff here to Lucas is going to be a run for about 3.
Also, just a heads up, that Oregon video I put out, it's like 4 minutes long.
Okay.
I figured make it a little longer since it's a bigger game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So the 2nd and 10 for Liberty now. They're going to run play action. Cooley back in the game. Looking for his man, and he's got the catch. But there's a flag in near the line of scrimmage. And another penalty against Liberty.
While they're announcing this flag quick, do you have any quick thoughts on the Mets probably just about to take a 2-1 series lead?
I think they're going to win the series tomorrow. It's going to be a holding penalty, back Liberty up. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. The NLDS is just a 5-game series, right?
Both are.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The divisional series just 5 games. Yeah, I think the Mets win it tomorrow. If the Padres win tonight, I think they win the series tomorrow or whenever I don't know if they play back to back. What the exact schedule is, but 2nd 20, Cooley going to run it up and he'll get about 8. They'll actually give him 10, and that'll be Lucas. My fault, is he's back to the original line of scrimmage. Be 3rd and 10 now. I think that if the Padres win tonight, they'll win the series. I think the Mets will win the series in 4. And I think if the Dodgers win tonight, then the Padres win tomorrow, and that one goes to 5. I think LA would win if it went to 5. It's 3rd and 11 for Liberty now. Salter looking to pass, getting pressured, making something happen, rolling to his right, and he's going nowhere but out of bounds. He'll lose 3 yards.
If you're the
FIU
Steelers,
forces another punt.
If you're the Steelers, obviously with Russell Wilson coming back here to practice, full practice, hopefully they're saying this Wednesday, do you keep Justin Fields as a starter?
I would think so. As also Colby Young was arrested for Georgia today. Now that we're not going to speak on that one too much. As we don't really know what the ruling is yet on that, what's going to happen with that. A lot of people saying that the story was made up, that it wasn't real. It's more of a he said, she said thing, so we're not going to speak on it. But just throwing that out there, some news. That's the 7th player since January for Georgia that has been arrested. But
also,
so we'll see what happens with that.
That should have been catch interference on Liberty right there. It
was. It took them a second to throw the flag, but they just threw it. Oh, actually, they're going to say no flag on the play as, the FIU guy ran into the Liberty guy.
It's official. Mets won 7-2.
Yeah, they picked the flag up saying that the FIU player ran into him, but it didn't look like he ran into him intentionally to me, but the Liberty guy clearly tried to hit him. I think that was a terrible call to pick that one up, but FIU will start at the 20. Jenkins, a nice pass to the flat, and they got about a 7-yard gain on that one.
How are they saying he ran into him when he's looking up at the sky looking for the ball?
Yeah, that's what he was doing. You know how they do when the ball is going over their head, but to try and keep the other team from downing it inside the 5, they'll run up like the ball is going to be shorter. And so he was just running up like that, and the Liberty dude just took him out. That was a terrible call to pick that flag up. But a 2nd and 3 for FIU now as they got two men in motion, 2 tight ends. They hand it off, and they're going to pick up about a yard, bring up about a 3rd down and 2.
Also, you have any thoughts on the Eagles releasing Devin White?
He hadn't played all year, so I don't think it's really a loss for them. We'll see I am interested to see who picks him up, though.
Pick him up, Browns. We need him. We need him. We need another competent linebacker besides JOK. Jeez, Pete.
It's going to be 3rd down and 2. FIU 2 for 5 on 3rd down so far today. The give up the middle, he got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. So FIU going to have to punt it away. As we're under 3 to go here in the first half, 2:54 and counting. Well, the clock just stopped. Somebody might have called a timeout.
An NBA headline here quick because it just came along the headline ticker while we're in between plays here quick. Malcolm Brogdon, I don't know if you know who he is or not, former Bucks player, then Indiana Pacer, then now he's on the Wizards. Just had surgery for a torn ligament in his thumb.
Yeah, that's a big loss for the Wizards. Brogdon, been a good point guard in the league, been a solid player, was pretty good with the Pacers, as Liberty will take a timeout to stop the clock at 2:54. He was pretty good with the Pacers alongside Halliburton. That could be a big loss for the Wizards. I mean, not that it really matters a whole lot. The Wizards were going to suck anyways, but it will hurt to have him out, as FIU is on to punt this ball away now from their own 28-yard line, hoping to hold Liberty, stop them, and take this one. Maybe get the ball back with some time to do something, or the worst, at least take it to the half, tied at 10. As a punt, pretty good one. I'm going to have Liberty down inside their own 35. As Thursday on CBS Sports, Middle Tennessee going on the road to Louisiana Tech at 8 o'clock. Might try and stream that one. Amari Kelly been a huge threat for Middle Tennessee State, the Blue Raiders. Been a big deep threat. He's top 3 in Conference USA in about every stat a wide receiver can have. 24 catches, 471 yards, 3 touchdowns on the year for him. Liberty takes over at their own 27. Salter, empty backfield. Going to deliver a nice pass on the quick slant over the middle for about a 9-yard gain. I think he'll be just shy of a first down, bring up about a second inches.
Do we have any official word on Miller Moss yet? I know we were talking about him.
I haven't heard anything on him yet.
That could be a huge loss for USC if he's not able to go.
Yeah, for sure. As Cooley with the run up the middle picks up the first down.
That Penn State, that's at 3:30. I just remembered on CBS.
I still haven't seen anything on him yet.
Hopefully it's not too serious.
Yeah, hopefully not. As we've hit the 2-minute timeout, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you guys in just a moment.
Also, quick, another little MLB fun fact here while we're on ad break and not going over the football game here. Little bit of a funny situation I thought probably would have happened, but I actually didn't extremely think it was going to happen. Is that every single, both NLDS series and both ALDS series I can't talk today, excuse me, are both tied at 1 game apiece, except we're both tied at 1 game apiece until the Mets and Phillies played.
Yeah, been pretty even series so far that been excuse me, been pretty competitive as the first down run, Cooley gets it up for a gain of 13. So it'll be a fresh set of downs at the FIU 45 for Liberty here. Again to Cooley. Again, a big run, and he's going to be just short of the first down. Had one man to beat. Had he got loose from that one, he might have been gone. So it's going to be a 2nd down and 1.
Do we know who receives the second half kick yet?
I can let you know. FIU will get the second half kickoff.
Okay. Just
As
that I let
Salter
you know in
looking
private
deep
chat.
to the end zone or towards the end zone, and that's going to be a nice catch down at the 6-yard line. Now they call it incomplete. Mobley had a nice grab. I think he got a foot down. They're going to review that one. I think he was in bounds. As we're looking here, nope, he's out of bounds.
All
right, Tug, just barely out.
Or not, but I left something in a private chat for you there during the ad break.
Okay, I'll look in just a second. As Salter and the offense have the ball at the FIU 36 to give to Cooley. He's going to have a first down. Under a minute to go here now in the first half. So the clock ticks. They're at the 32-yard line. Salter dropping back, looking over the middle, incomplete. Too fast and a little bit too high out of the reach for Hanshaw, as it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10, 52 seconds to go on the clock.
How much you want to bet if that's Jeremiah Smith, he makes that catch one-handed?
Probably.
You got to catch that pass that he just threw over in the middle, too.
That's in the gun. Dropping the throw. Going deep again for Mobley, and that one's going to be incomplete, but pass interference there. The DB just ran him out of bounds and never turned for the football. That's going to – it wasn't in the end zone, so it's just going to be a 15-yard penalty, but that'll give Liberty a first down with 46 seconds to go on the clock.
And puts him in field goal range as well.
Yep. Yeah, he never looked back for the football and just went all into it, even hit him, chest bumped him a little early there. So that'll have Liberty set up at the 17-yard line. 46 seconds to go. Both teams with 2 timeouts here. Be interesting if Liberty scores on the next few plays. Does FIU try and make a push? Salter was looking for Mobley, couldn't get it to him. He's going to step up and run. Now he's going to bounce it outside, and he's going to walk into the end zone for a touchdown.
Also, I have an argument to make that ball wasn't even catchable.
There is a flag down. Yeah, you could definitely make that argument it wasn't catchable.
Because that ball was out of bounds.
There's a flag down now, though.
Probably coming back, holding on Liberty would be my guess. Or a legal formation. While we're waiting on the flag quick.
Hold on. They're going to call blindside block. Okay, that's what I was thinking they were going to call, because I thought I could hear Chadwell on the TV saying that he was looking at him. Let's see if we get a replay of this to see.
Oh, that's so dumb.
Oh, that is not a blindside block.
That is so dumb.
I mean, it was a dumb move from Cooley to hit him because he didn't need to hit the guy. It was a dumb move to lay the block in the first place. You didn't need to hit him, but in no way was that a blindside block. But that backs Liberty up to the 23-yard line now. Salter drops back to pass. Going to get pressured. He's stepping up again. This O-line for Liberty's not played well. A lot of holding and a lot of pressures. And he's just going to run that one out of bounds at the 20 with 28 seconds to go on the clock.
If anything, that's a block in the back.
I don't think it was anything. I mean, the dude was looking right at him. He pushed him right in the shoulder. Both of these coaches upset with the refs.
If he would have held on to that ball a second longer and was looking on the field, he had a guy wide open at the 8-yard line. 8-yard line on that first down play after the penalty there.
Yeah, his O-line just didn't give him time to block. As Cooley, with his helmet off now, he's just yelling at the refs trying to plead his case that wasn't a blindside block. These refs have made some bad calls in this game so far.
Looking like
some benefiting Liberty, some
right
it's been both. It's been bad both ways. You look at the penalties, Liberty with 6 penalties for 65 yards in this game so far. Just 1 for 15 for FIU, but they've had a few picked up that definitely should have been called that have hurt them.
Who called the timeout?
Liberty did, I believe.
Why are you calling a timeout when he went out of bounds?
Well, I think he probably called the timeout because, one, I think they wanted to regroup the offense just because there's a lot of emotion built up right now after you get the touchdown called back. I think he also wanted a chance to say something to the referees. But I don't know who exactly called the timeout because still says FIU. Both teams has 2 timeouts on the screen.
It was FIU.
Yep. So 2nd and 13 now at the 20-yard line for Liberty. And another whistle coming in.
I'll start.
Yeah, the game clock was messed up. They needed it reset to 28.
Here we go again.
I figured this was a clock issue because the teams just had been set whenever they blew the whistle. So 2nd and 13. Let's see. They still haven't taken a timeout away from anybody. I don't know who called that timeout. As Salter's going to run it up the middle on the quarterback draw. He's going to fight, and he's going to fight his way all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Liberty.
Why should be another flag for a blindside block that ain't a blindside block?
So after all that, Liberty finally gets the ball back into the end zone. They take a 16-10 lead, the extra point on to make it a 7-point game. As FIU with 20 seconds left, I would imagine they're probably just going to kneel the ball and take it to the half. Especially they get the ball to start, probably pretty content only being down 7. 20 seconds left, not a whole lot for you to go do. I mean, they only have 117 yards of total offense, 32 on the ground, 85 through the air. Liberty, on the other end, though, 223. They've been getting it done on the ground, just 62 yards through the air, but they have ran for 161 here in this first half. Granted, they've ran it 28 times, but 161 yards. I mean, 5.8, almost 6 yards a carry. It's been good for Liberty on the ground. The offensive line hasn't done great in pass protection, but they've been getting it done in the running game as the extra point is up, and it is good. So 17-10 lead for Liberty. They just went on a 10-play, 73-yard drive, took up 2.5 minutes off the clock. Jamie Chadwell still going back and forth with the referees here. I think, like I said, I don't think either one of these coaches are very happy with the way that these refs have called the game. I don't think either one of them's very happy with how it's out. But Liberty had to get off. We got 20 seconds to go in the half. Like I said, I would imagine FIU probably just kneels the football and takes this one to the half. I mean, just down 17-10 on the road against Liberty. Got to be pretty happy with where you're at. As the kickoff is going to be into the end zone. Looked like that one might trail out of bounds, but it stayed in bounds long enough to go into the end zone. As here comes the Panthers. We'll see what there's a flag down on the field.
I will say
offside on the kicking team.
I will say quick, that's a huge touchdown for Liberty given how these offenses have been struggling, especially right before halftime there. Also counting that FIU gets the ball to start the second half.
Oh, 100%. And, I mean, Liberty's offense hasn't really been struggling in terms of gaining yards. The struggle has just come on the penalties. They're getting yards. The problem is they just keep finding themselves moving farther and farther back with penalties. It's just I don't know. They just can't seem to get anything going. It's like they have a big play, and then here comes a penalty. So FIU's going to accept the penalty and make Liberty re-kick this football from the 30 now after the offsides.
For halftime, I'll probably just go over a couple player stats that just burn like 3 or 4 minutes and then.
Okay. Yeah, I'm probably going to go eat dinner during halftime. Hadn't had a chance to eat yet. As Liberty will re-kick now from the 30. Anthony back in the chat with us. Good to have you back, man. Yeah, tough one for the Phillies. Phil's in 5. We'll see. I think the Mets win it tomorrow. The Mets are just hot right now. They're just too hot right now. Nobody wants to face them. As Liberty has to re-kick it, and he kicks it into the end zone again for the touchback.
I will say, on the MLB topic quick, now that Guardians and Tigers are tied at 1-1, I got Guardians in 5.
I could see that. I think the Guardians do edge the Tigers out in that series. As Liberty is 12-0 under Chadwell when leading 12-0 under him when leading at the half. As FIU takes a kneel down and heads to the locker room, as they will be facing a 7-point deficit when they come out of the half, but they will get the ball to start. So we got 64 of you in here watching. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We're going to take a quick break. Well, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to go eat dinner during halftime. Michael's going to have a little bit of a short halftime show for you, and we'll be right back with you guys for the start of the second half.
Okay, I will go ahead and take about a 2-minute break. We'll rest my voice here, then I'll be back for the halftime show. Yeah, I do have the Tigers winning tomorrow. Just due to the fact that it's at home. I have a feeling this series could kind of be a lot similar to Yankees Guardians in 2022 when Guardians were ahead 2-1 and then Yankees 1-5. I have a feeling it could be a lot like that, but we'll have to see. But off of the baseball topic for now, let's get into the halftime show and actually get to football here. So it is 17-10 Liberty at halftime. Both teams on both of their second drives, they both hit a field goal. Liberty hit a 31-yard field goal, and Florida FIU hit a 31-yard field goal, and we were tied up at 3. Then I believe it was Florida Atlantic. Excuse me, not Atlantic. FIU scored a touchdown first, and then Liberty again. Don't quote me on that. But it's currently 10-17 Liberty at halftime. Liberty currently has an 81.1% chance to win, according to ESPN's predictor win probability. FIU is 2-3, 1-0 in conference. Liberty's 4-0, 2-0 in conference. Now let's get to the stat leaders before I sign off for the rest of the halftime show, unless y'all have any more questions. Jennings for FIU, 7-12, 85 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. He is their leading passer. Joseph, the leading rusher for FIU, 3 carries, 20 yards, no touchdowns. Patterson, FIU's leading receiver, has 3 catches, 53 yards, no touchdowns, nothing like that. For Liberty, Salter, 4 of 8, 62 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, but does have a rushing touchdown on the ground. Cool lead, Liberty's leading running back, 17 carries, 92 yards, a touchdown. And finally, Smith, Liberty's leading receiver, 2 catches, 48 yards, including a huge 44-yard catch on Liberty's second drive of the game to get them in field goal range to knock in that field goal. And FIU will receive the second half kick down 7. That's why I was saying that Liberty touchdown was so big. I'll go over MLB scores quick. Mets beat the Phillies, take a 2-1 lead in the series as they win 7-2. Dodgers and Padres, first pitch tonight at 9:08. Game 3, that series is tied at 1-1. Guardians, Tigers play tomorrow at 3:08, if I'm remembering that time correctly. First game in Comerica Park at Detroit. That series is tied at 1-1. Then KC and New York 1-1. That game is also tomorrow as well. Fun fact here, Liberty had 7 penalties in the first half. One of them was a very questionable blindside block call. Salter also had 54 rushing yards along with that rushing touchdown. So it will be interesting to see how the second half unfolds. I will see you all once we start the second half. And hello, everybody. We are back here for the second half as Liberty will kick it away, and it'll be into the end zone for a touchback, and we are officially underway here in the second half of the only game tonight here on Tuesday. Liberty, 7 penalties for 70 yards. FIU, 1 for 15. Liberty winning time possession, 18-20 to FIU, 11-40. Those are the two stats that stand out to me here to start the second half. Jenkins in the shotgun, hands it off. Up the middle, dragging guys for about 5, maybe 6 on the carry. Joseph on the carry for FIU. 2nd and 5. FIU comes out in shotgun once again. Joseph still in the backfield. Wide receiver in motion. Jenkins takes the snap, back to pass, fires, and it's dropped, and it's intercepted by Liberty. Williams with the pick for Liberty. And just like that, Liberty in control in FIU territory. Jenkins with a good throw on a slant route. I mean, easy catch, just right through the hands and just right to Williams for the easy Liberty pick. Rivers, the intended receiver that dropped the ball for FIU. Now Salters in the shotgun for Liberty. So 40 through 44 seconds in, and we got a turnover. Salters from the FIU 40.5. Takes a snap, play action, back to pass all day, firing deep. He's got a man. End zone incomplete. He dropped it. He had it in his hands, and he just couldn't complete the catch. It'll be 2nd and 10. I mean, perfect, right on the money, and just right through the breadbasket there. 2nd and 10 now for the Liberty Flames. Salters in the shotgun. Wide receiver in motion. He'll pitch it to the wide receiver in motion. He's got a lane. He picks up about 8 on the carry. It'll be 3rd and 2 for the Flames. Huge 3rd and 2 here for the FIU defense, trying to get a massive stop after the turnover. Just a few seconds into the second half by FIU's offense. 3rd and a long 2, hands it off at the middle. He's got a lane, breaks through it, and he's down to the FIU 21. Cooley on the carry. He is now over 100 yards on a day. At 101 to be specific. And slung down after a 1-yard carry is Cooley that time. 2nd and 9. Second and 8 officially, excuse me. In the shotgun. Salters. Had to give him defense time to substitute. Tight end in motion, takes a snap, hands it off. Cooley at the middle, makes a man miss. He's to the 10, breaks tackle to the 5, and to the 1, and shoved out of bounds. It'll be first and goal for Liberty from the FIU 1. Cooley having himself a game today. Over 100 yards now. And we're just a couple minutes here into the third quarter. From the FIU 1, just inside the FIU 1.
All right.
Inside the FIU 1.
I'm back. Sorry about that. Was running a little bit late getting back.
Take snap, hands it off. Cooley up the middle. I don't think he got there. The ball came out. Who has it? The ball. Who has it? It's FIU football. FIU football. At their own half-yard line. Cooley having himself a heck of a game. Just lost the football.
Yeah, well, force the turnover. Now they're going to be in a little bit of trouble to start the drive. They're going to be at their own 1-yard line. But a good job to prevent the touchdown. Now you just got to get at least a first down and move it out of there. But what a play from this FIU defense to force that. Also, Michael, appreciate you carrying the start of the third.
You're breaking up quite a bit. I didn't hear a single thing you just said.
I said reinforcing there in the first half. I mean, at the start of the second half. It was a little bit late getting back from eating.
Did you see what I put in private chat for you yet?
Yeah, sorry. I typed out a response. I just never sent.
That was definitely the biggest drive of the game for that FIU defense, and they answered it with a resounding forced turnover there to keep FIU in the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, if 10 after you just threw the interception, that could be a little bit different. I mean, it's not a good lead, but point yet. You gotta find a way to get a few first downs and at least if you're gonna punt it, flip the field position a little bit.
Oh, so this adds up. You got some people that were talking in chat while you were gone. Figured I'd leave that for you.
Let me look. Oh, yeah. Cade, what's going on, man? Good to see you in here. Shady Sports Network, everybody. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to him. Great stuff over there. We're live on his Twitter and his YouTube right now. He's given me a lot of opportunities to do a lot of work. Really appreciate him. Great guy. Go check him out and subscribe to him over there. As FIU will now start at their own 1-yard line. The 1st and 10, each team with a turnover, coming on back-to-back drives where they've turned the football over. We'll see if FIU can get out of their own end zone now. Looks like they're going to go with a little bit of like a, I don't know, maybe just a QB sneak here to try and get out of the end zone.
Unless it's a fumble-rooski, which I didn't think. What, they wouldn't run a fumble-rooski this close to their end zone.
No. As they do go with the QB sneak, and they'll get to about the 3-yard line, so that'll be a nice little run there to give them some space here.
Heck, if that guy didn't tackle him from behind, he might have been off to the races.
Yeah, he might have broke free. As I think Liberty thought he was going to go left, instead he went right and ended up with a little bit of space to move. So now from the 3-yard line, they'll go shotgun here. as I would imagine Liberty probably going to be bringing some pressure. They don't. Now they do. It was delayed, and he's just going to have to get rid of this one. As the pressure was coming forward, you got to get a first down here because, I mean, even if you punt the ball off and get the punt off, I mean, it's still going to be midfield at best for if you're FIU, where Liberty's going to be taking over.
And you don't want to put your defense in that position once again to where you have to potentially make another goal line stand with the way Liberty is moving the ball right now, especially on the ground.
Well, FIU is going to have an automatic first down after a holding penalty on Liberty. That'll move Florida International up a little bit. I apologize. I know y'all are rivals. That's on me. As they'll have the ball at their own 13-yard line now and a fresh set of downs. So a huge penalty there that costs Liberty.
I've done that about 20 times this stream too, called FIU, FAU.
Yeah, I apologize. I know y'all don't like each other. As the run on first down will pick up about 4. And that was a good call there on that holding penalty as the big D lineman, number 97 for Liberty, tried to grab onto two offensive linemen and pulled the other one so the linebacker could get through.
Fun fact here for this game, FIU only has 1 penalty for 15 yards compared to Liberty 8 for 80. Liberty is
that's what I'm saying. Like,
FIU in this
the only
game
reason this game's close is because Liberty keeps shooting themselves in the foot with just dumb penalties.
Speaking of
2nd and 6, another handoff, and they're going to get halfway there. About a 4-yard gain, bring up about a 3rd down and 2.
What do you think of FIU's helmets?
I like those helmets. Now, I was hoping when I scheduled to stream this game that they'd be wearing the black and pink uniforms. Those are my favorite that they wear. But I think FIU has some good uniforms. I like the 305 area code on the side with the Panther head as the 0. They've always been pretty creative with the uniforms. As the 3rd down and 1, again a handoff, and it's going to be close. It'll depend on where they spot him.
Sure,
they're going to give him the first down. I don't know if he got that, but they're going to give it to him.
They should review that. He was at least half a yard short.
Well, yeah, because I mean his back was to the line to gain, so it's not like the ball would have been across if he wasn't across. But they're going to give him a first down at the 23-yard line, and it doesn't look like they're going to review it either. If I was FIU, I'd hurry up and snap this football. They do get the snap off, no review. So 1st and 10, a little bit of play action here. Nice pass, and that's going to be a first down up to the 40. FIU's offense showing a little bit of life now. They've gone 39 yards down the field. They're moving it a little bit. At the very least, they've sort of flipped field position, which is always key. Looking to see if they can go down and get a touchdown here and tie this football game up, as we got 71 people watching right now. We appreciate all of you. Make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to American Football Network. Subscribe and follow Shady Sports Network on YouTube and Twitter. Check out the College Football Podcast on YouTube. Subscribe over there. Also, check out Ohio State Hype videos on YouTube. Subscribe over there, as well as those both are Michael's channels, as the first down run will pick up about 6. Owen's a nice run, and there is a flag down.
It appears it's coming back.
We'll see what this is.
It's going to be holding on FIU.
That's what it looks like. Yep.
If you watch the pulling guard there in the replay, he just basically tackled his defender.
Yeah, just completely wiped him out.
Speaking of jerseys and all that, what do you think about Oregon's blackout jerseys that they will be wearing against Ohio State this upcoming game?
I like those as well. As a wide receiver screen, going to pick up 5 yards to the 35, be 2nd down and 15. Yeah, I like those black jerseys that Oregon has. I think those will be some good uniforms. I would expect Ohio State to probably go in the white top, silver bottoms. All white, okay.
They're going, those alternate uniforms that they were supposed to wear against Illinois that one year, but then the game got canceled.
Yeah. Is that what they're wearing?
2020. That they're wearing those all white unis. So it's going to be. I
Okay.
won't make that comment, but
that'll be a good uniform
because some
matchup.
people might
Is
take that the
second
wrong
and
way.
15 getting pressured, finds a man somehow. He didn't really look, the wide receiver on that one didn't really look like he expected to be getting the football. And they're going to have it up for a nice gain of about 7. Should be about a 3rd down and 8 here. As Joseph, he didn't expect that football to be coming his way. Somehow made the catch and got it up for a nice gain of 7 yards. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 8. Would be big if this Liberty defense can get a stop here, as FIU on a nice drive so far. They're eating up about 4.5 minutes of game clock. Ran 7 plays so far. This is play number 8. Looking to pass. He's getting pressured, and he just throws it away. That's going to be pass interference, I think. No, they're not going to throw the ball. They're not going to throw the flag. The referee reached for it, but he never let go of it. That ball was definitely catchable. The DB about had it, and the receiver's taller than he is.
That's a ticky-tack flag, if they were to call that.
So FIU to punt. A shank of a punt, but it takes a friendly bounce and will go out of bounds at about the 26-yard line.
Man, looking like Ohio State's kicker. Can't even keep the ball in bounds.
Yeah, that was an awful punt. Usually the punt at least goes off the screen for a second. That one, you could watch it the whole way. But we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you guys as Liberty will take over at their own 26 when we get back. All right, so we are back. Let's see here. Sorgy Stories Anthony says he likes Detroit tomorrow in a clinching game at home. He's taking the Tigers in 4. He thinks the Mets will win, and that's what he predicted. But, yeah, living in Philly. No, I know you're in the hometown on win. And first throw is completed for about a 5-yard gain up to about the 30-yard line. Shady getting in says, hit the like button, comment, subscribe for sure. Make sure you guys, all three of those, we support across all the channels. Appreciate all the support we've gotten all season, as well as that will be a first down run for Liberty as Lucas picks up the first down. Cooley, how about a game for him? 21 carries, 123 yards, and a touchdown. Now, he did fumble on the last drive going into the end zone and kind of flipped the field position here for Liberty. But they've got the ball back. They give it to Lucas again, and he's going to have about a 4-yard gain.
Man, my Oregon video just face planted on. I'm kind of surprised.
Sometimes they do that, and I don't really know what it is. It's like they'll be the thing tracking the views will be going straight up, and then all of a sudden it'll just go straight down.
No, I mean it just face planted from the start.
Really?
I figured I would do it because it's possibly the biggest game of the college football season, but it's only got like 80-some views.
It's probably because you hadn't put out a video in a little while. That might be the problem.
I've been streaming on there. Pitches it out, about a 1-yard carry.
Yep, so 3rd down and 6 now. Salter lead option. They give it to Lucas. He doesn't get there. He got stood up after about a gain of 3. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 3, and Liberty's going to have to punt the ball away. Yeah, he hit Lucas, and he wasn't going anywhere once he was hit. Dropped him immediately, and that's going to bring on the punt team for the Liberty Flames. So the punt away, it's a pretty good one, will be fair caught at the 23-yard line, and that is where FIU will take over. So we're going to take a quick break. Florida International going to start at their own 23-yard line when we get back. All right, so we are back now as that on the screen. Big game coming up this weekend. Penn State going on the road to USC. That should be a fun one as FIU looking to get started. Empty set in the backfield, a nice pass and catch, and then way to fight after the catch and get a 9-yard gain. Get it up close to the first down. It's going to be 2nd and 1. Nice catch from Patterson. He's been the go-to guy here. 4 catches for 65 yards for him on the game. It's going to be a 2nd down and 2. They're going to give him 64 yards. It'll be an 8-yard gain instead of 9. As the give. Oh, no, he kept it and then throws it down the field. It's Patterson again, and he's to midfield. Faked everybody on that one.
I'll wait till the next play here.
Yeah, check out this play right here. Did you catch that one?
I'm on the 2nd and 2 play right now.
Yeah, watch that one. Faked everybody out.
Oh. Anyhow, I know this happened like a month ago or something. It was a little bit before the season at Ohio State, but what do you think about the Jesus One movement going on at Ohio State right now?
I haven't really seen anything on that. Real quick, there's going to be pass interference on the Liberty cornerback. I don't even know what he was doing. He just nailed the receiver at the 10-yard line, just knocked him to the ground on his back. It was a stop and go, and he just leveled him whenever he went to run again and then flexed on him for no reason. Like, dude, that's a penalty. So 15 yards, FIU's up to the 40-yard line.
It was before the season, and they held this ceremony on campus, and it was led by the football players, Travion Henderson, G. Scott Jr., among others. I believe Will Howard was in there too. Talking about God and all of that, and I believe they said 40-some people got baptized that night or something like that.
That's awesome.
On campus.
Love to see those players using that form for good. We see too many of them using it for bad or not using it at all. So good to see them using it for good and changing people's lives. There's a big run there from Sean Demps of 16 yards, and that'll have them set at the Liberty 4. Now on 2nd down, a sack will move them back. About a 5-yard loss. Actually, no, it was on a read option. Jenkins tried to keep it. He would have had a lot of open space, but just waited a little bit too long. Joseph took it. Wasn't a little bit of miscommunication there. A loss of 4. Be 2nd and 14 from the 28-yard line for Liberty now. But yeah, that's great stuff going on at Ohio State. Love to see that. Wish we could see more of that around the country. As the screen pass out to Joseph, and he'll pick up a yard. Lucky to get anything there. The quarterback got nailed.
I mean, it's still going on as right now, because if you look at Will Howard's press conference, after every single game, he's been wearing a Jesus One t-shirt during his press conferences. So
that's awesome. Great stuff. As I think we're going to get a roughing the passer on Liberty here.
That's going to take them over 100 yards and penalties.
No, they're going to pick it up. The flag was originally thrown. They were calling a chop block on the offensive lineman, but they picked it up, said it was above the waist. So no penalty on the play.
Liberty's currently got 9 penalties for 95 yards. I'll say this. The only reason FIU is in this game is because Liberty, with their penalties, is letting them stay in this game.
Yeah, I mean, FIU has had no offense whatsoever. Only 201 yards of offense. Only 12 first downs in the game. When you look at their their first downs, just 12. I would say at least 3 of them, if I remember correctly, have been from penalties. As FIU calls a timeout here with I believe 8 seconds to go in the third quarter. They burn a timeout. They're down 7. BJ gets in. Can FIU win this? I think they can win the game. I mean, they're on a good drive right now. They've obviously got their backs against the wall a little bit. 3rd and 13 from the 27. I feel like you need a touchdown here if you're FIU. I mean, this has been the best drive you've had all game, really, because even the drive they scored a touchdown on was off of a shorter field. Had Liberty pinned, and they took over about midfield. So this has definitely been the best had all game. Hopefully they can punch it into the end zone and tie this game up. Hopefully they can get it tied up.
I will say, if you're FIU, you have to at least put up 3 points on this drive. You have to.
Oh, without a doubt, you got to get something. Which I will say, FIU's offense has looked a little bit better here in the second half. I mean, they took over at the 1 yard line and had a nice, decent drive to get out of their own end zone and flip the field on the punt. The defense still looking good for both teams, really. I mean, with Liberty, though, like you said, it's just the penalties. 9 penalties for 95 yards is just – that ain't going to cut it. That just isn't going to cut it. It's actually 9 penalties. It's actually 9 penalties for 90 yards instead of pass interference. They called it holding. They switched it from pass interference to holding. It's only a 10-yard instead of 15, but still 9 for 90. That's not good. Not good at all. I think too, if this game keeps getting later in the game, the later you go. If FIU scores here, the later you can go, the better it's going to be. Liberty hasn't had much success through the air. I mean, only 67 yards passing on 5 of 10 is Caden Salter. Where Liberty's killed them is in the run game, averaging almost 6 yards a carry and have ran for 212 yards. That's where Liberty's offense has come from. So if you can have them late in the game with not a lot of time left to be able to run it, as on 3rd and 13, they're going to get about a 10-yard gain, bring up a 4th and 3. Decision time now from your own 17 or from the Liberty 17-yard line. And it looks like they're ready to go for it.
But they're going to have some time.
They're going to have some time to think, because that's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. So they're going to have some time to think about it. And we're going to take a quick break while they do. We'll be back for the start of the fourth quarter and a big decision for FIU.
Also, officially, it'll probably be 4th and 4, by the way. Just a heads up on that. Also, quickly, I'll include this while we're on ad break quick, since we're not calling the game at all during ad break. I don't know if you're there or not, or if you're walking away while we're on an ad break there. But if you really think about it, Liberty could be up by at least 2 or 3 scores right now if they would have erased those penalties, or erased at least some of those penalties if you really think about it. And as well, you can also count on this game could very well be tied right now, or a 13-17 game, if obviously FIU got the ball back. But still, you got to make that catch on the interception. That was not the quarterback's fault for FIU. You have to make that catch on the slant, and he might have had a 15, 20-yard gain if he made that catch on the slant there.
All right, so we are back. A big fourth down decision for FIU. It's 4th and 3. I think we both agreed. I mean, they got to go for it here. Like I said, this has been the best drive you've gone on all game. 6 plays, 58 yards. You started at your own 23. You've got the ball at the Liberty. Where is that? I
What about
believe the
this
Liberty
ice though?
17-yard line. You got to go for it. So they mark them at the 18. They need, I believe, the 14 to get the first down. They're going for it. And they're going deep to the end zone. It's incomplete. No flag. Liberty holds them off.
That's not the call in that situation.
Not at all. Not at all. Although I think they could have called pass interference there. But I don't mind keeping it in the pocket. Again, we say that isn't the call. It went straight through
the ball. That's not going to be PI.
It went straight through Patterson's hands. I mean, we say that's not the call, but if he would have just caught it, I mean, it went straight through the receiver's arms. He had a touchdown and he just dropped it.
Well, if you looked, also that ball was tipped.
Yeah, it was slightly, but I mean, still, it went straight through his hands. He had the touchdown. He just couldn't hold on to it. So now Caden Salter and this Liberty offense will take over. They're running some play action, a little flick to Smith, and he's got plenty of room to run for a first down to the 30.
I also sent you something back in private chat, by the way. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Okay, yeah, I saw it. So from the 30 now, Liberty takes over.
Here,
Salter going to give it to Lucas, and he's going to pick up about 4, maybe 5. They'll mark him down at the 34-yard line. So bring up a second down and about 6.
Quick MLB update here. Dodgers up 1-0 on the Padres, top second, and Alonso hit his 3rd homer of the postseason already.
Yeah, the Dodgers up 1-0. That play that put them up 1-0 was very similar to the last game. Mookie Betts hit it to left field. Profar leaped for it. This time it went off of his glove for a home run, though. As Salter finds a man past midfield and gets it all the way down to the FIU 41-yard line.
I will say.
That was Mobley. What a game he's had. A big catch for him.
Salters, I will say he is one of the most underrated QBs in college football.
He is, for sure. Now, he hasn't been great throwing the football tonight, just 6 of 11 for 80 yards. The ground game's really been getting it done, but his O-line hasn't given him a whole lot of time to throw, but when they haven't, he's made good plays with his legs as Lucas runs ahead for about 9.
The last thing you want here, if you're Liberty, is a turnover.
He's a little slow to get up off the field.
Who?
Lucas. He's going to jog off.
If you're Liberty,
him and Cooley have had huge games so far.
If you're Liberty, you just want to take 4 or 5 minutes off the clock, no turnovers, drive down the field, punch it in.
Even if you get a field goal, just take time off the clock and get points. Any kind of points doesn't matter. Any of them will push it to 2-possession game. As they give to Cooley on 2nd and 1, and he's going to have it down to the 28-yard line.
I will say here quick, I think you'll probably agree with me on this statement here as well, but I think most people would agree on this statement, to be honest. Louisville plays Virginia this weekend. Louisville is playing for their lives to potentially make it into the ACC championship.
Oh, yeah. If they lose this game, they're out without a doubt. As Salter finds his man, and that's going to be another first down to the 15 as the Panthers' defense is just falling apart now. But, yeah, 100%. If Louisville loses this game, that'll be their 2nd loss in the ACC. When you look at what Clemson and Miami are doing in the ACC, especially with the schedules they have, the toughest team on both of their schedules is Louisville. I don't really see either one of them getting the 2 losses in the ACC. So I think the best case scenario for Louisville, Because not only that, if Louisville loses this game, that guarantees the fact that you have to beat either Clemson or Miami. You have to beat one of them.
And
And
also add on to that,
probably both of them. If you lose this game and you're sitting at 2 losses, you probably have to beat both of them.
I'll also add on to that, obviously, with Miami being the only undefeated team in the ACC right now at 6-0. And if you really want to think about it, Miami's 4-0, the refs are 2-0. You also got to wonder, obviously, because the ACC refs are calling games because they're interconference games now. Is the ACC trying to protect Miami because they're their only undefeated team, so they know they got a solidified contender in the playoffs?
I think the biggest thing is not that they're the undefeated team. Is Cooley takes it into the end zone for Liberty, and that might put this game away. I think the biggest reason why they're doing this, if you want to speculate that the refs are saving them or protecting them intentionally, is that Miami, Clemson, Florida State are the top 3 revenue producing schools in the ACC. Miami's the only one that isn't suing the ACC. Clemson and Florida State both are in lawsuits with the ACC trying to get out and go to another conference. Miami's the only one not doing that. I think that is the biggest reason why, if you want to speculate on the fact that Miami's being protected by the ACC refs. Another fun fact to point out is the head referee, and I don't know about the rest of the staff, it might be different, but the head referee in the Miami-Virginia Tech game this year, when the terrible call was made to overturn the Hail Mary touchdown, was a referee in the game back in 2015 when Miami had the lateral kickoff return against Duke, where the one dude lateraled whose knee was obviously on the ground, which would have ended the game, but they didn't call it. Miami scores, nobody reviews it, touchdown, Miami wins the game. He was on both of those. He was a referee in both of those games. So it could just be that he sucks at his job.
I will say that could be part of it. But, I mean, take nothing away from that Miami team. They are uber talented. They should be 4-2 right now.
Oh, without a doubt.
Maybe not 4-2 because that Virginia Tech Hail Mary we'll never really know, but at least 5-1.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm sure you remember this hit. Somebody had reposted a video today, I saw it, of Skalski's hit on Justin Fields in the playoff that one year. He didn't hit him with his head. He hit him with his shoulder, but he lowered his head, and that kind of caught him with it. That's why it was ruled targeted. Somebody reposted that and was like, if this was targeting, I don't know how the Miami hit wasn't targeting. And it made perfect sense. I mean, the Miami dude targeting was textbook targeting.
I mean, to be fair, they have changed rules over the years and all that.
Dive straight into his head. Helmet to helmet, just a spear dive straight to the head. And the fact they reviewed it and didn't call it targeting is just insane to me.
True, but while we're on ad break here, you have any quick thoughts on Texas, Oklahoma?
It could be interesting if Arch Manning starts. I haven't heard. Let me look this up, actually.
I think Ewers is supposed to be back.
I think so, but I haven't heard.
Also, Jackson Arnold's going to have to start if Oklahoma wants a chance.
I think so. Nothing yet. The only thing is that Steve Sarkisian said he feels good about Quinn Ewers starting versus Oklahoma. Nothing official yet. Just really him saying they're going to monitor him daily.
Well, with it being a rivalry game, he'll play.
I would expect so. I would expect that he would. Still plenty of time in this game for FIU to come back after a good kickoff return there. will set them up.
I will
Will
say
set
you
them up
said
with solid field position.
you said plenty of time. Yes, I agree. There's 10:36. There's plenty of time. But if they want a single chance, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You can't go for a field goal. You have to go forward on every fourth down. You have to get touchdown every single drive.
Oh, you got to score a touchdown on this drive without a doubt. As the first pass of the drive, he had a man open, threw it over his head, and was about intercepted. Not the start you wanted. Sorgi, Anthony, good to have you back in the chat again. And it doesn't matter either way, as FIU's going to get hit with an eligible receiver downfield.
I will say, if FIU, if they don't go for it on this drive, that their coach is dumb. I mean, you're down 14. There's 10:29 left. Your offense has been struggling all game, looking for a spark. The best way to get a spark on offense is to hit a big play. And that can be a fourth down conversion. That can be a long run. That can be a deep pass. Whatever. You need a spark as soon as possible here.
Well, they get it to Patterson for a gain of about 7 on first down. But, yeah, I agree. I mean, especially when you look at the way that Liberty has ran the football, I mean, you're going to have to score a touchdown here. I just find it hard seeing FIU stop, especially the way your defense looked on the last drive as well. They look gassed. They're just falling apart defensively.
And also, if you look at it, the other issue for FIU is you need to give your defense like 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes. But I don't know if you can take 4 or 5 minutes to drive down the field, as you said, with the way Liberty's running the ball right now.
Yeah, because even if you force a 3 and out on Liberty, they're still going to take up two and a half minutes off the
3
clock.
minutes.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so if you go on a 5-6 minute long drive, that's the rest of the game, which means at that point, all they would need is one first down and it's over.
A little bit of a nice run there.
You technically have – so FIU holds 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning will help. As it's 3rd and 1 now, you got to get it here. They're going to hand the ball off, and he's not going to get there.
Go for it. You have to
he's
go for it.
He's going to be half a yard short, so it'll be 4th and inches.
Push.
8:50 to go, 2 timeouts. You got to go for it, and the FIU most definitely will go for it here.
If you punt it, you're basically surrendering the game right here.
Oh, without a doubt. And they're going for it. I expect a QB push right here.
Or just a straight sneak.
He ran to the right once he caught it, the same play that they ran to get out of the end zone, and I think he has a first down.
They proudly packed the center.
They did.
Yep. That's the one thing you're seeing teams do nowadays. Teams are starting to figure out how to stop the tush push a bit better now. So now you see teams starting to go to the right or left to avoid that packed 5 front center.
Yeah, for sure. Great play call. And they pick up the first down. So they're at the 45-yard line. 7:50 to go, clock ticking. You kind of got to speed it up a little bit here.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got to start speeding up here if you're FIU. Yes, you want to give your defense time, but you don't want to take too much time. This is one of those situations, if you're FIU, where it's hard because you want to get your defense time, but you don't want to take too much time off the clock.
For sure. And with 7:50 on the clock, Liberty is going to call a timeout. So we're going to take a quick break as we near the end of this game. It's been a good one. We'll see if FIU can take it down the field and score, but we'll be right back with you guys in just a moment.
I will say quick, if FIU has to score by at least the 4:30 mark, 4:45 mark, if they want a chance to come back and at least send this to overtime. All right, we are back here, 7:50 in the fourth. I don't know if you heard what I said right before we went to the ad break there, Lincoln, but I said if you're FIU, you got to score by the 4:45 mark, 4:30 mark in the fourth quarter if you truly want a shot at getting the ball back here.
I would think so. Which, I mean, they have the 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, so I mean, technically they could score as long as they score before the 2-minute warning.
Back to
Technically,
pass, looking all day, firing, incomplete.
but definitely want to have it. Yeah, definitely want to score by about the 4:30 mark. Worst as the 2nd and 10 throws over the middle, complete for about a gain of 8. Bring up a 3rd down and 2.
They're going in like 4 or 5 minute offense here. You got to step it up into about 4.5, 3, and about 3.5, 3-minute offense here if you're FIU.
Yeah, I don't think they should be huddling up like they've been doing. They're just moving too slow right now.
Now, I will say, back to the Ohio State-Oregon game quick while we got a second. I know Oregon, has been able to move the ball. But what I'm worried about is, they struggled with Boise State, which, Boise State has proven to be actual good. So I'm not too worried about that, except for the run defense. But I am worried about how they struggled against Idaho. What worries me is did their offense have enough time to gel?
FIU moving quick, and there's a catch down inside the 5-yard line. Sorry to cut you off there, but what a play. They get the run on 3rd and 3 for a 5-yard gain and then chunk it deep down inside the 5.
As I was saying, I'm worried about for Oregon, besides, stopping the run. Did their offense have enough time to gel to go up against a defense as good as Ohio State? Because they have not seen a defense as close to Ohio State's caliber this year, and it's not even relatively close.
Yeah, I'm worried about that as well. As Owens is into the end zone for the touchdown.
Also, that guy that caught that pass to Rivers, he was the guy that dropped the pass for the pick earlier. He made up for it.
Yep, he made up for it in a big way there as the extra point is up and it is good.
Well, we have a ball game now on our hands now, folks.
We also have a flag on the play, so we'll see what that's about.
Probably offsides. Let me ask you this: if it's offsides, do you go for it? Do you go for 2? I would say no.
No.
Take the point.
No, yeah, you just take the points.
Well,
So
now
24-17. 24-17 with 6:23 to go. FIU with 2 timeouts. We'll see what happens, but we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with you guys as we're coming to the end of this one.
I will say the benefit of this is that if you're FIU, you don't have to worry about just getting a specific, just 3 and out. That's the positive. All right, we are back here watching a flash race versus a Liberty fan. Who's going to win? And it's the Flash by half a step.
He barely beat him. As a pooch kick from FIU, fair caught at the 23-yard line by Liberty. So we got a good game going, a good crowd as well. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, comment as well. Check out American Football Network, Shady Sports Network, the College Football Podcast, and Ohio State hype videos. Check them all out on YouTube. Subscribe to all of them, as this is a close game. 7-point lead. We'll see if Liberty can take it down the field and ice this game away or give FIU some more life.
Now, I will say the one positive for FIU, as I was saying quickly before the break there, or early in the break, is that you don't have to worry about just getting a specific 3 and out here. That's the positive
not
of
at all.
scoring that early in the clock.
As real quick on the baseball front, how about a huge second inning from the Padres? They put up 6, and they now lead that one 6-1. As the first down pass from Salter is incomplete. Stop the clock with 6:19 to go. Bring up a 2nd and 10.
Don't.
Sounds good, Anthony. Let me know.
Here if you're Liberty, I don't get it.
As now they fumble on the handoff, and they're going to lose 4. 3rd and 14. The wheels falling off for Liberty offensively so far to start this drive. As Salter just dropped the snap. Luckily, him and Lucas were able to fall on it immediately. But man, oh man, has this started to go downhill a little bit for Liberty here, and they're letting the clock tick as it's 3rd and 13. You got to get a first down if you're Liberty. Your defense was just out on the field for a while. They got smoked the whole possession. So 3rd and 13, Salter getting pressured, rolling to his right. He's going to throw it deep, and that's just going to be over everybody's head, incomplete. So they're going to have to punt with 5:33 to go.
You should have ran the draw there if you're Liberty, in my opinion.
You should have ran it from the start of the drive. I mean, you look, Salter's 8 of 15, 118 yards. Running the ball, you're averaging 5.5 yards a carry. You ran it for 240 yards. Run the football. At the very worst, I mean, you see what happens when you try to throw it. You end up with a 3 and out. At the very worst, you go 3 and out trying to run the football, but you milk the clock. Because, I mean, now, as the fair catch is called for at the 39-yard line, now FIU still has enough time. They can go 3 and out, punt the football away, stop Liberty, and still get it back with a chance to go score.
Plus the 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got plenty of time that the FIU can realistically get 2 possessions out of this if the first possession right here goes bad. But they have confidence offensively. On that last drive, Jenkins looked great. And so now they take over at the 39-yard line. I mean, you got to go 61 yards to put it in the end zone. That's a lot better than where they've started in previous possessions. So here we go, 1st and 10. The handoff on first down, Owen's going to try and bounce it outside. He doesn't get anywhere. Tackled at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
I will say quick, to casual fans, if you're watching this, if you're more so a casual and don't really follow rankings or follow football that in depth, this game will probably be a lot closer than you guys anticipated, just based off the record. You would think.
Jenkins, a nice pass. They're going to have a first down and more. Up inside the 40, down to the 37-yard line of Liberty.
Okay.
A big play there, as that's Rivers again with a big catch, making up for the drop pass that led to an interception earlier.
I'm about a play in the quarter behind you. I just saw the pass.
A big gain for 23 yards. Rivers, 4 catches, 78 yards. 2 big catches on the last 2 drives. Joseph the back. They go play action with him. Jenkins looking deep. Rivers off of his hands. He slowed down at the end just for a second. Why did he stop running? All he had to do was keep going, and he walks into the end zone.
The cardinal sin of the number one rule of a wide receiver: never stop running. Is Jenkins a left-handed thrower?
He is.
Any thoughts on a final score here, possibly coming down the stretch?
I think FIU could score here and Liberty get a game-winning field goal. As they give to Jenkins, he'll pick up 3 or 4.
Well, if you FIU here as well, you don't necessarily have to go for it on 4th down. You could take a field goal here and make it a 4-point game as well.
They got to get a little bit closer for a field goal, but definitely that's definitely in the cards as a possibility.
We could have some free football tonight. The way it's going right now.
So 3rd and 7 from the 35. I mean, I think if you're FIU, you go for it right here, even if you don't get it. It's too far to kick a field goal. As Jenkins going to keep it, he's going to pick up about 2 yards. So it's going to be about a 4th down and 5. As Jenkins yelling at his offensive lineman right now, they just didn't even block the defensive end. As soon as he caught the football, he was being pressured.
Okay. If
so
you're
4th
FIU,
and 5.
Do not take a deep shot. That's not the right call in this situation. Do not take a deep shot. About a 7 to 10 yard out route. Perfect. No need to worry about taking a deep shot. Just keep running time off the clock. Keep that Liberty offense on the sideline.
So FIU is going to call a timeout here with 2:49 to go.
But that only leaves them with 1. So if they don't get this, the game's virtually over.
No, because they still have 1 plus the 2-minute timeout.
Well, if they would give up the first down, then the game would be virtually over.
Yeah, but even with the 2 timeouts, I mean, you give up a first down, the game's over anyways.
So in your opinion here, I already said what my opinion was. You don't want to throw it deep here. Just throw a 7 to 10 yard out route, or just get a route far enough to get the first down.
We'll see if they get the first down here. I mean, even still, all right, you don't get this. You can still get the ball back. You can still make them punt at the 2-minute warning with 2:50 on the clock. It's still possible.
You'd have
Jenkins
to make it
throws it. They get the first down to Rivers and Moore. He's down to the 16-yard line.
Out route?
Slant.
Figured it'd be one of the two. Like I said, just take what the defense gives you. No rush here. And I would assume that would take us to the 2-minute warning almost. They'll probably have to run one more play.
They'll have to run one more.
Rivers is making up for his mistake big time right now. Looks like he's Ryan Williams.
Yeah, he is. He's now the leading receiver for FIU. 5 catches, 95 yards. Actually, the leading receiver in the game. As man in motion, Jenkins gets the snap. He's going to keep it on the read option. Fooled everybody. He's down inside the 5, down to the 4. And that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. FIU will have it 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. He fooled everybody. I thought he gave it. He kept it and just walked down to the 5-yard line.
Okay, I'm about to see this play because I'm behind you here. Oh, dang. He did fool everybody. He's jogging.
So with 1:57, FIU will have the ball 1st and goal at the 4. When we return, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back as this one's shaping up to be a great finish.
I will say quick here while you're muted and all that. This game went from FIU's defense crumbling like crazy all of a sudden to FIU might literally be about to win this football game. That just shows you how fast momentum can change sidelines and how fast and how crazy college football truly is.
All right, so we're back. First and goal from the 4. What does FIU have? 1:57 to go. Liberty still with 2
I'm going to
timeouts.
read option again.
They're going to hand the football off. He's fighting. He gets down to the 1, but can't quite get in.
Push.
Which, honestly, if you're FIU, that's good. That just runs the clock even more. Either run the clock or makes Liberty call timeout, and I think that's what Liberty is going to do right here.
Well, I think if you're FIU right now, as I was saying during the ad break, I don't know if you heard what I said, but as I was saying, we went from Liberty's defense and Liberty just absolutely falling apart to all of a sudden just FIU's defense just all of a sudden falling apart and all that. Now all of a sudden Liberty is just crumbling before our eyes. Shows you how crazy college football can really be.
For sure. And I mean, an FIU went on that drive down 24-10. They put it in the end zone, and boom, FIU's defense came out, looked like they did in the first half. They were just on fire again. They looked locked in, and they were ready to go. They weren't, they weren't falling apart and just giving up huge play after huge play like they were the drive previous.
MLB put a short out on it. Goes deja vu all over again.
As the Dodgers, Teoscar Hernandez just hit a grand slam. Wow.
So they're what, 5-6?
Is he in? Touchdown on the QB sneak.
Did he go to the left this time?
Straight up the middle.
Jalen Hurts style, even wearing the same exact number. But here's the thing: if you look at it, each team got 1 timeout left. If you got to wonder, does Liberty just run the ball and concede to go to overtime? Highly unlikely with 1:42 left and 1 timeout. But on the other side, if you're Liberty, you got to err on caution. Because if you throw 3 straight incompletions, hint what Josh Allen did against the Texans, even though that would probably be on a different spot in the field, which it will, you're risking giving FIU the ball back with what? Just under 1:30 to go in the game and 1 timeout.
There's a flag in on the extra point as the kick was up and good. Offsides again on Liberty. That one will be declined. So a tie football game with 1:42 to go. That's a good point if they come out. And this is what I literally talked about earlier in the game, was this exact scenario. Liberty hasn't been able to throw the ball all game. Salter, 8 of 15, 118 yards. They haven't been able to throw the football all game long. Running the ball is where they've been at. But with 1 timeout, 1:42, I mean, you can run the football, but you're going to have to throw it. You're just going to have to throw it. And when you look, the biggest factor of this entire football game, the biggest factor of the whole game is 9 penalties for 90 yards for Liberty. But, man, as this FIU offense turned it on here in the second half, now up to 342 total yards, 245 through the air, 97 on the ground. They've really been getting it. 2 for 3 on 4th downs. That's been the key. Also, they're holding Liberty to just 3 of 9 on 3rd downs. So we'll see here. So we got 72 people watching along. This has been a good football game. We're hoping that you guys are enjoying it as FIU is set to kick this one off. And they're going to kick it deep. It's going to be fielded at the 7. Looking for a return. A little bit of room as he bounces outside, but going to end up getting hit at the 26-yard line, so not much.
Also, one thing on the line tonight that they just showed, interesting fact, Liberty is on a school record 16-game win streak in the regular season.
Yep, 16-0 in the regular season under Jamie Chadwell. He's yet to lose a regular. Like I said, he's only lost 1 game with Liberty, and that was against Oregon.
Now, if you're Liberty here, if you're Liberty's coach, what you got to do, you just got to say to your quarterback, you just got to say, okay, This is your time to shine. Go out and do what you got to do.
Oh, 100%. As Cooley with a big run on first down gets it up for a gain of about 12 to the 40.
Now, if you're FIU, you can't let off the gas now. And I'm sure they know that. But just because you tied it up, they still have one timeout,
Walter,
so
with
do
the
you.
slant route, they say Smith was down. He's hurt, and he's holding his knee. That could be huge. He's been their lead receiver on the day. And I'm not sure he caught that football either. This is going to give him some time to look at it with him hurt, and he's in a lot of pain.
Well, before that, I'm always unfortunate to see someone go down. But once again, Cooley continuing a great day with that 12-yard carry.
Oh, 100% as they carry Smith off the field. He's not putting any weight down. He has that right leg lifted up. That looks bad. I think he probably tore his ACL or something.
Yeah, if you're squeamish and you're watching a game, you probably don't want to watch that replay.
Yeah, that was bad.
And he's torn his ACL previously.
He has. Hopefully he'll be okay. As they're reviewing it now, they're going to rule. It was ruled incomplete on the field. It's under review now to see if he caught it. I don't think he held on to the football.
That's incomplete. That's got to be incomplete. Valiant effort, but that's got to be incomplete. Yeah, if you're just a heads up, if you have not seen that yet and you're watching this game along with us and you don't like seeing injuries like that and you're squeamish, I recommend do not watch the replay on that one. More MLB news. 3-time All-Star Louis Tyrant, pitcher, passed away today in the MLB, 87 years old.
Old pitcher for the Red Sox. Tough news to hear he passed away. And I guess we never really talked on it on any streams. Never was really never was really any sort
I'm going to put something in private chat because I won't do this
similar discussion, but Pete Rose passed away, I believe, last week.
Yep.
All right, Anthony, appreciate you tuning in, man. You have a great night as well. Appreciate you tuning in as I think he's going to be joining us for some streams this weekend. Hopefully we can get a bunch in this Saturday. A lot of good games.
Okay, just put something in private chat for you because in case people are squeamish, not like hearing about injuries. Just equate for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was bad.
That's incomplete. There's no way that's complete. He didn't survive the ground. Yes, the knee came down all fine and dandy, but you got to survive all the way to the ground, not just to when your knee hits.
The only reason he lets go of that football is because of the injury. Because you watch him, he lets go of the football and just immediately grabs his knee.
Now, I will say, a lot rides on this call right here.
But you don't have to survive the ground on this kind of catch, though. The only time you have to survive the ground is if it's like a diving catch. On this one, he's already ran with the football. He's good here. As soon as his arm touches down, he's down.
But his arm never touched down. His knee did, but his arm didn't.
It doesn't matter what hits down. He doesn't have to survive the ground on this catch. He's already caught the football.
Jeff?
Surviving the ground only has to do with whenever it's like a dive and catch.
Also, Jeff somebody will be, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, and if I do pronounce it, it'll probably come out wrong, will be the interim head coach for the Jets. Their defensive coordinator. Here's the call. Here in a second. This review is taking a long time. I think this might be one of the longer reviews that we've had on a stream this year so far.
I think so, which by the length of it, I think that means it's going to be overturned.
Well, typically when you see the notepad out, that means it's going to be overturned as well.
Yeah.
And I don't see the notepad yet because obviously they haven't showed it over there. I would like to see over there, but
Here comes the call.
probably going to be complete. Might literally take us 5.5 hours to play a single snap of football. No, I will.
And it is ruled a catch. There will be a 10-second runoff, so that'll move the clock down to 106. Or I guess 110 is what they'll call it. And then the clock will start running on the referee's signal. As Liberty moving the football down the field with a chance to get in field goal range and set up
The only reason there was a 10-second runoff was because there's no timeout called for the injury, because inside 2 minutes you have to call a timeout if there's an injured player.
Yeah. So
For
Salter
those
looking to pass.
are
He's going
wondering.
to take off and run with it now, and he's just going to get out of bounds. He didn't get any yards, so it's going to be a 3rd down and 3.
This is the biggest play of the game right here. If Liberty doesn't get this, do you go for it? I don't. No.
No, not at all.
I think
No,
you
because
punt.
if you don't get it, then if you don't get it, FIU has to go
go.
15 yards to kick a field goal.
He might have got a half a yard.
And 3rd down and 3.
Quarterback in.
They're going to give it to Cooley, and he's going to fight. It's going to be close. It's going to depend on the spot. He stopped short. He didn't get it.
They better get ready because Liberty is going to line up quick. I'm betting money on it. They're going to line up quick here. They're going to go right up the middle with a tush push. If it's 4th and inches.
Now they are letting the clock tick down a lot here. Down to 30 seconds to play.
Nope, half a yard short. Yep, you were right.
Liberty uses the timeout with 29 seconds left.
That tells you they're gonna. That tells you they're either. Oh, I don't get why you. That means you're probably conceding to go to overtime, probably.
No, with that call right there, that means you're going for it on 4th down because now.
Yeah,
now
but what I'm
don't-
getting at, if you're gonna go for the tush push on 4th down, or get it on 4th down, regardless if you get it or not. Let's say you get it. Obviously, when you get the 1st down, the clock stops so they can move the chains. But at least you would think 3 or 4 couple of seconds, and you're gonna have to spike it right away, pretty much. So it'll be 2nd and 10 right away.
Well, Liberty's going to send out the punt team, actually.
Watch the fake. Watch the fake to the up back here if you're FIU.
But the reason you let it tick down if you want to go for it is because then if you don't get it, it doesn't give them a whole lot of time to work with.
There's 3 things you got to watch here. Number 1, the fake punt. Number 2, a potential blocked punt. And number 3, if it is not blocked and it's not a fake, make sure you do not fumble when you're catching it if you're FIU, or just let it roll. Do not get close to it.
Well, none of them happen. FIU will take over at their own 12-yard line here with 22 seconds to go.
You don't risk throwing it at your own 12, I think. I think you just take a knee. You have one timeout. You ain't going to be able to go. You
don't take a knee. You hand the football off here on a run play because if it's a safe play, but if you end up running for 30 yards, then you can go for it. But they will just take the knee and let the clock tick out. So we're going to get overtime. So we're going to take a quick break with you guys as it's been a long night, but we still have some football left to play. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with you guys in just a moment for the start of overtime.
First overtime. Don't they have some new rules for overtime this year? I can't remember if they do or not.
All right, so we're back now for the start of overtime. FIU has won the toss, and they have elected for defense first. So look at the rules. First overtime, ball is placed at the 25-yard line. Each team keeps possession until scoring or failing to make a first down. Second overtime, teams must attempt a 2-point conversion after the touchdown. Third overtime and beyond, the ball is placed at the 3-yard line, and each team just attempts 2-point conversions until one's successful and the other isn't. So those are your overtime rules. What's that?
Called this year. You said this is the first OT we called this year.
And I can't exactly remember but this might be the first overtime game we've ever had together.
No. Well, technically me and you, yes.
Yeah, because I wasn't there for the Alabama-Michigan one. All right, so Liberty on offense first. 1st and 10 from the 25. This offense has been non-existent in the second half for the most part, especially that fourth quarter, as the first down run play with Cooley gets 2 yards, and that's it.
And I will say the difference between college and the pro football overtime is that both teams get to possess the ball once. It's not just if you score one touchdown, the game's over.
As Cooley on the day, 26 carries, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns for him, but not much success here in the second half. 27 carries, 161 yards. Not much success for him here in the second half, particularly the fourth quarter, as he's going to run it ahead again on 2nd down and 8, and he's going to come up a yard short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Wouldn't surprise me if they go with the tush push here on 3rd and 1. Because it's more like 3.5 yards.
They're in the shotgun. I just give it to Cooley again. They do give it to him, and he's got the first down inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line.
No, it's funny. This is going a lot like the Alabama-Michigan overtime.
Yeah.
Well, you were on that Bama game with us for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then your internet must have went out or something.
No, I wasn't on there at all for the start of it. I wasn't on there at all for that one. We had just got back from the beach. I set the stream up, and then I had to leave. As Salter keeps it on fakes the pitch and walks into the end zone, touchdown.
Now, do you go for 2 or do you kick the PAT?
You definitely kick the PAT here.
Yeah, because after the first overtime, you're required to go for 2. For those of you that don't know what college overtime is, first overtime, both teams get a chance to possess. If the first team scores a field goal and the second team scores a touchdown, which obviously we won't see, it's over in first overtime. Now that Liberty scored a touchdown, paying the PAT, it'll be a 7-point game. FIU has to do that, get the PAT, or go for 2. Starting the second overtime, if we do go to the second overtime, you're required to go for 2 after a touchdown. And then after that, it's just trading 2-point conversions back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
As the PAT's up and good, so Liberty takes a 31-24 lead as of right now. FAU gets the ball, they have to score a touchdown, and then it'll be decision time. I think if you score the touchdown here, I could see FIU going for 2.
I wouldn't go for 2 if you're FIU. You're potentially able to win in a tough CUSA stadium like Liberty, probably the toughest CUSA stadium to play in all the CUSA conference. And pending a potential 16-game regular season winning streak, I say you kick the PAT, keep the game tied if you score.
Well, the longer this game goes, the less it favors FIU because Liberty's the better football team. So I think you go for 2 if you score a touchdown here. And on the first down run, they're going to pick up 6 yards.
Now,
down to the 19, it's going to be 2nd down and 6. Owens with a big run there.
I will say, if you are watching a game and it said FIU needs a score to extend the game, it has to specifically be a touchdown. It's not just a normal score like a field goal.
So Jenkins on 2nd and 4. The handoff again. They're going to get about a yard, so it's going to be 3rd down and 3.
So one more note to make. If FIU does not get it here on 3rd and 3, they're required to go for it on 4th down because you can't kick it. That for people that didn't know that rule. I'm still running. I'm about to play in a quarter behind you.
So 3rd down and 2.
That's more like 3rd down and a long 2, but
yeah, that's 3 yards. I don't know why the screen says 2. That's exactly 3 yards, perfectly on the dot. He fumbled. That's the game. Liberty recovers. They went for the play action. He got nailed from behind. He fumbled. Liberty recovers, and that is the ball game.
Wow. That went exactly like the Michigan-Alabama game, except Miller fumbled a QB draw.
Now, they're going to review it to see if this was a forward pass, but I don't think this was a forward pass.
Also, that was a blitz. That wasn't a defensive lineman. The offense lineman never saw him, and the quarter came from the quarterback's blind side. Quarterback never saw him, and he got absolutely hammered.
Oh, yeah. There's no way that was a forward pass.
Now you got to wonder if the quarterback's all right because he was down the field looking a little bit shaken up. That's either just from
I think he's just in shock. I think he's all right because he stood up earlier. He seemed to be okay.
He got hammered. Jeez Louise. Never saw him. And that should stand as a fumble. If they ruled out a forward pass, the refs are just
nope. The ruling on the field stands. That is a fumble, and that is the final. Liberty survives 31-24 in overtime. So that will
Extend
wrap
the regular
up.
season win streak to 17 games.
Yep, that will wrap up this stream. Make sure you guys subscribe to American Football Network, the Podcast Boys Network, Shady Sports Network. Follow him on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube as well. Also check out the College Football Podcast and check out our friends as well. Fun Football Podcast, Shots from the Sideline. You can check both of those guys out on Twitter and on YouTube. So check all those people out. Michael, we appreciate you coming on with us, and we look forward to doing more streams with you guys Saturday. So you guys have a good rest of your night. Thank you for hanging and chilling out with us tonight. We will see you guys next time.